Hey there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Brewing a Business. I'm your host, Hasseman. We're on location at the Hasseman Brewing Tap Room, and I am very excited for my guests today. We have Ray Ballard, who's the owner and brewer, and Meg Jadwin, who's the taproom manager of Y Bridge Brewing. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Welcome.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So Meg, let's start with you. Tell me about the brewery overall, 10,000 feet.
Well, we have a 20-barrel brew system. We have 6 different beers on tap right now. We currently have our Why Not, which is our blonde, YPA, which is our single IPA, Double Y's our double IPA, and then we have Cherry Stout, which is cherry at the Y, Downtown Brown, which is our brown ale, and then we also have a new one called Cheap Date, and it is lighter than our blonde.
Nice.
So we are located at 1417 London Avenue. It's right across from the Blue Front Cafe.
It's been pretty well received so far?
Yes, we've had very good received so far.
That's awesome.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah, it is. And I appreciate, again, you guys, I know you guys are new just like we are, right? And so I appreciate you taking the time. So Ray, the question to you is, and this is what I've been trying to ask everybody, what's your favorite beer to brew? What's the most fun for you?
To be honest with you, my complete favorite beers are the monsters, the big ones, the big brown ales, the big barley wines, imperial stouts, Belgian triples. Not necessarily a big part of our current roster at this point, but you have to make money as well as beer. So trying to brew beers tailored to the craft market.
No, it's a great point. Like, it's one of the things that I talk about is we're introducing a new demographic into the craft brew area, and I think you guys are doing the same thing. So I think your point is well taken. It's like, okay, we got to put something out there that people want to buy, and then we'll introduce them into new stuff. So what do you think your biggest challenge has been so far?
Biggest challenge, I would say, is selling enough beer. We are fortunate to have started with a rather large system compared to most startups, and just moving enough beer has been quite the challenge. I mean, we're growing steadily, and it's looking good and all, but it's been quite surprising.
Yeah,
you don't grow as quickly as you think you're going to grow, and nothing happens as quickly as you think it's going to happen.
For sure. And again, I think it takes a time. I talk all the time about changing habits. Whenever you are starting any business, whether it's the beer business or the pizza business or whatever, you got to change people's habits that they come to you, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think that's certainly part of what we're in any new business struggles with. So. But on the other side of it, right? You talk about your biggest challenge. What's your favorite part? What's been the best
It's
part?
brewing. It's being back there in the brew house and mashing in the grains and smelling that mash tun. That to me, that's the pinnacle of it. I love making beer. That's what got me into it. I just crazy about the process. How you're not really making beer. You're conducting life cycles. Yeast is actually making the beer for you, but I've just been fast. Ever since I homebrewed my first batch, I've been blown away by the process and just love it.
That's awesome. And Meg, I guess I'll throw that at you too. I mean, because you're working a different part of the business. What's your favorite part?
Meeting new people.
Yeah.
This has been a totally different new ball game for me. So it's just meeting somebody new every day and learning something new every day. I never know it before.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
you never know what you're going to walk into.
You never know.
Yeah.
No.
So final question, what do you think has surprised you guys the most so far?
Surprised the most. The fact that our Cherry Stout is our number 2 seller in Zanesville, Ohio on Linden Avenue. I never would have guessed a Cherry Stout would be a hit in Zanesville. To be honest with you, that was supposed to be an Imperial Cherry Stout, more like 8.5%, but this was like the 3rd batch I'd brewed on this new system, so we didn't get nearly the concentration or potency we wanted out of the beer. And so I thought, well, we'll just throw it in barrels, call it a Cherry Stout, take the word Imperial off of it, move it, and then get back to what I really wanted. And it took off like wildfire. There's 4 places that have it on tap, and they're going through barrels of it. And it's our second best seller. And you see women showing up, like blue collar women showing up after work, sit down with their phone, they'll have 1 or 2 cherry stouts and go home.
Oh, man.
It's just a whole different crowd that I'm not used to seeing. And the fact that style of beer in a town that, is not known for being a big craft beer mecca, I just never would have guessed a cherry stout. I guess the IPAs would, and the IPAs aren't, they're 60% of craft beer sales, but not on our road.
So that's what's interesting, I think, is that, I think sometimes you think surprise, you think maybe negative, but you learn some interesting positive surprises as well.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So now we're going to keep making that lighter cherry. That's the best mistake I've made yet. So we Forrest Gumped our way into one of our flagship beers, kind of.
No, that's so cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, my pleasure.
And we'll have to do something like this again, okay?
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Well, that wraps up this edition of Brewing a Business. We'll see you next time.